And welcome
February.
everybody to our new episode of Fate Weavers.
What?
We are going to be
What is that?
trying to think of something to do because for the last 20 or so minutes we have been dealing with technical difficulties. And by we, I definitely mean I. How's
And
everybody
we are still having technical difficulties because it's not live.
doing? It takes like a couple of seconds of delay. Do not worry about it. So, how's everybody doing?
Real life. See?
Surviving.
Yeah.
Good,
in
no,
pain.
I'm not saying no. Coughing, so I might be dying on the other side if I mute my mic from time to time. But you know, it's good. It's good, you know.
All I hear are excuses. You guys.
What, for death?
I dare you to say that again, boy.
Are you guys scared about putting one of your party members out for a public lynching, which is not part of any law, not constitutional by any means, and definitely much open to being stabbed in back?
Can't wait to kill him myself when the opportunity arises.
Technically, I wasn't here, so I didn't know what was going on. But yeah,
The
Gab
public
is just
lynching has been on for like four sessions, I believe, that Jason said that he was going to do that.
I'm pretty sure it was 2.
I'll take a
'Cause,
look at
I only missed one session.
Yeah, it's not 4. It was not last game. It was the game before. You're really bad with numbers.
that. I'm bad with a lot of stuff.
Do you tell,
I'm-
do you tell women that you're like 80 instead of 8?
Today,
No.
in this current day, a lot of people
Not
don't
going there.
understand how I got a wife, me included. God, I am bad.
She included.
I think she also doesn't know how we got to this point, but I
He's a
am
keeper then.
I am bad with time. Literally, like I think the other day I was coming back for Montreal. We went there to visit like my sister-in-law. It was minus 30 degrees. I was fucking dying all day and all night. And then when we came back to Ottawa, we were like, oh, I wanna go and like buy this Belgian beer or whatever. So there was it was not available on one of the LCBOs, places that sell alcohol here in Ontario. So I drove to like 4 of those. I look at my wife and she's like, we have been an hour and a half driving around the city for fucking beer. I was like, oh, I thought it was like 15 minutes. I was having fun.
Isn't there? Speaking of Canada, isn't there like a D&D immersive thing happening in Mississauga or whatever it's called in Canada?
Mississauga.
Yeah.
Yes, I think I saw the TikTok or something. It's kind of like you go and it's like a theater, live theater, with some giant dice rolling. Looks fun, but I'm not driving to Toronto for that. Have you ever? Have you guys ever been to like a Renaissance fair or anything LARP?
Not yet, and I'm
Unfortunately
looking
not.
straight into the camera and waiting for my friends to enter this chat. Not yet.
I don't think Britain has Renaissance fairs because, you know, why would you want to pretend to live in a medieval hellhole? I know America's got no culture, but, you know.
There is one I know of in Britain. Don't know where it is or when it is, but I've heard of it.
No way is there a racist thing in
like
Britain. You're
Ken-
lying to me.
It might be more of a
No.
LARPing convention rather than.
Yeah,
That's different.
I don't know about
LARPing.
LARPing, but I know there was a new account called Kent Renaissance UK or whatever. I don't know. Like they were trying to get
Fucking
together.
Americans coming over, fucking trying to instill the culture on us.
Yeah.
Yes, a European medieval culture that predated the early creations.
Yeah, but it's not like medieval. It's like, oh, use a chicken leg and stuff like that. It's a little shit. It's just.
To be fair, a couple of centuries
Capitalism.
ago, the English tried to impose their culture on the Americans, so it's only fair.
Well, they did, didn't they? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
The Americans aren't exactly Americans.
Well, it's like the girl that went to Rexroom. And I enjoyed watching that. I was like, how much she would
Did you know that
trigger
the
you?
town was only created a couple of years ago, and they purposely made it look old?
It's like, oh my god, Rhino.
Started by Ryan Reynolds, actually. Yeah.
Did really well.
Rage
I'm
bait.
coming back from
Complete rage
self-promotion and I'm hearing Ryan Reynolds, yeah? Oh, hi.
Yeah, so it's just rage bait. That TikTok
It was so
thing I got
funny.
yesterday.
Oh, hi, Jack.
How can you hear him in the background?
A little bit.
Crying, baby. Just as crying as you guys will be in a couple of minutes, as we jump back into it. Last time, Raiders of Azerra. The party, also known as the Wanderers, spent some time talking to the council members of the Council of Elders and Heritage and the Council of Fangs, which are the true leading political parties in Ersandia, city from where Eric is from. As talks were going about the truth of the situation outside of Ersandia, Pauliki used a conveniently newly developed spell that allows her to share a piece of her memory as
Convenient spell being very convenient.
as she lived through, and anybody that perceives that memory knows it to be truth as much as Kauliki knows it. By using this, we were able to convince the council members as to the situation outside of Nersandia, the threat that Shoralf poses the Beast Walker race, and the Longstaff Fire Bowl, and were able to hatch a sort of plan of sorts to bring Nersandia to your side in the possible upcoming war against the capital. That evening, as you were sleeping and getting ready to go to bed for the night in the enclave of the Council of Elders, a figure appeared on on the patio of the enclave as Luciana Valera came knocking on your window. After
Fucking bitch.
a slight tense conversation, she left supposedly the coordinates to one of the towers that are in the world. The meeting of all Scions and their cardinal daemons has to take place. Might be your only chance of having Gavatutalu Bottle able to face against Shoralf, as all three of them are Scions, unable to directly attack each other. As conversations were being had, that's where we left off. As you guys are ready to go to bed, just as soon as Luciana Valera disappears, and you know that the next day will be the public trial, public lynching of Eric Starkcarver in an attempt to quell the rage and sorrow brought upon all of the Beast Walkers of Sandia after the demise of some members of their. We pick right up as soon as Luciana leaves the room. clasping her fingers and disappearing, leaving only but a perfect sphere of gemstone that has ingrained arcane glyphs, which Ephraim had been able to say with time he could decipher them and know the exact location of this tower. What are you doing?
Well,
We have the
Eric,
location. Let's just go.
Depends
Be
on
done
how
with
Eric
it.
feels about it, I guess.
just remind me where in the timeline are we currently?
About 12 hours before you get stabbed by a whole town.
And what do we achieve by going?
You can be lynched later.
And if we leave now, we do not have the backing of an army. A bit loose, but still an army.
Yes. Also, Nizandia would probably get destroyed if the city doesn't rally, if they don't defend themselves, if we don't help them.
You being lynched.
You're not here.
Do we
Shut up.
have a way to come back from after if we were to go to this tower? I'm all for going now, but
I can go anywhere on this plane as long as I've been there before and there is some plant life.
there is plant life here, but I doubt you've seen any plant life near her tower.
I am growing the tree on the ship, so when that's ready, we can use that one.
I do not like this. An enemy has literally told us the way to go.
Yes.
It is like stepping into someone's sword. Eyes wide open, and then giving them your gold.
I will add, since Jason wasn't here last week, Luciana Valera made it obscenely clear that she wasn't Choral's friend, just allies by convenience. That she was getting bored of playing this chess game with inferior opponents, so she was handicapping herself. And that the plan is what is the most important, as she was looking straight at Quatlu, saying, "Oh, the black-haired sleepy bitch really pulled an ace out of her sleeves."
He seems fairly interested in me. It's probably because I dispelled that big anti-magic field.
Most people are interested in you, Corto. You can do many things that not many people have seen in a very long time.
Yes, but I think even Jor-Elf would struggle with doing that. And that's why she's so interested.
Did we get any assurances when we get there?
Well, other than the fact that me and Gabba can't hurt her or Jor-Elf, same can't be said for the rest of you.
Is there any way to circumvent that restriction?
I've been...
Why is it that you can't hurt them? Because they're other scions, but yes, but what makes it that you can't hurt each other?
I've been researching it currently with aid of the key, but I'm only part way through finding out why. It seems that they put some sort of restriction so that events couldn't occur as they did before, from what I remember, Martin.
You are right. I just want to add that I suck at doing recaps because I never write them, and I forgot that the last thing you guys did, Bishar had opened the room to the
Library, yeah.
to the Glorium Arcanum's archive, and because it was a safer place to have a conversation, quote unquote. And as soon as you open it, you saw that the archive seems as if it has been left uncared for and abandoned for decades, even centuries.
And I don't think it's going to be much help for much longer, considering how fastly it's deteriorating each time we come in.
Mm.
To be fair, I don't think that Kauliki was like pacing at the window. I don't think that's fair choosing or debating right now what we're going to do without all of us here. I think.
We cut to the Elysian Vale as Gaba is walking up the staircase leading to the deck of the ship. Outside the Elysian Vale, you can see the onlookers from the Beast Walkers are still staring at the ship, and you see a group of children are kind of like, go and touch it. No, you and like, don't be a chicken. You scary the cat. And like you see a half dwarf, half Kokiku, this walker kind of frowns her face and goes and like touches the ship. And all of the other kids are like, oh, he touched it. And like as soon as he does that, a staircase descends right next to his face. As aboard the deck of the Elysian Vale, we see a half human, half dragonute, red scales that have been corrupted to a black coloration, glowing red eyes, and a half-broken horn, wearing a white, very flamboyant shirt, and two sheets or blades on each side that don't seem to have a hilt or a blade sheet on them. As we see Thuras opens her arms up and says, "And hello, Captain! We have kept the ship very safe for you. We appreciate you coming back to save us from our desolation without your beautiful face."
Baba doesn't say anything. You would what she would see would be the braces that are coming out of my arms, kind of like the only way I can describe them is kind of floating in midair, a bit like a cobra that's been charmed, just going back and forth. As she puts her arms out, kind of blocking my way, I would kind of open it like a door and just not say anything with force, just push her away, and I would be heading towards the training room. My face kind of sour, kind of like a really, like, I don't know, I'm sucking on a lemon type face. I don't want to say dragging my hammer, but basically it feels like I'm dragging my hammer. But just my mission at this moment is just to get to the training room.
As you walk past Thuras, she goes, you see an explosion of confetti and an illusion on top of the decks with like fireworks that start spinning and say, "Welcome back, Gabalicious." And you don't see because you are ignoring them, but as you walk past her, Thuras is like to like a marlish that is on top of the cabin of the deck, just going like, no. Like, the illusions just turn into goo and fall to the ground. And Thuras looks to all of like the children that are on the floor underneath the Elysian Veil, and they are like, "Wow, run home, ye brats! Nothing to see here." And she just starts walking next to you, following you behind, and goes, "Is everything okay? You look really bad, my dear. Do you have something to say? Can I help on anything? Are we killing somebody?"
Still not saying anything. I'm guessing because it's quite a short distance as well, isn't it, from the
Yeah, it's less than a minute.
board to the. Okay, I'm not going to say anything. As soon as I get to the door, I'm just going to be like, "Get ready for their arrival. Leave me alone. I will talk to you when I need to." And I will slam the door as hard as I can.
Aye, me lab.
And then I'll slam it shut. And I mean, I'm probably going to do an attack roll on the door.
Don't damage our ship.
Okay, now there. That's an 18 plus. What is my strength?
+5, I believe.
Plus 5, yeah. 23.
So a small, like where the wood meets in the corner, a small fracture starts appearing.
And then I proceed to unleash holy hell on every bit of training equipment I see. Like I'm talking, like the like rage rooms where people like beating stuff. And I mean, I'm not throwing punches. I'm literally my hammer's swinging, my chains are going. I'm causing destruction. I'm literally trying to break this room down, like just destroy everything in it. Again, no one would see this, but for the audience's sake, my my scars are full red at this point. My eyes have gone red. Probably letting off some smoke as well. Probably for just I'm burning up. I'm just going mad. Imagine like Karlak when she gets really mad, but I'm not Karlak. Just remember that like that kind of anger. That's what's going on.
We got back to the other four members of the 5 members of the party.
Should we get her? I can be there and back in 2 hours. I mean, for the time that I need to get to the ship, and then I will be back instantly.
She was quite angry when she left. Might be best to wait until tomorrow. Unless we are in a hurry to leave, that is.
Cut the gap and just like smack at the wall with a warhammer.
I mean, the only... I don't want to say...
Frankly,
it,
I
but
don't like this
will.
plan. I'm sorry.
There is a chance she could steal the... She could decide to fly the ship off without us. From what I remember, she was quite keen on getting back to her people and rallying them.
She wouldn't.
There's a lot of things we thought initially, oh, she wouldn't do that. And yet her behavior, from my memory, has always betrayed me. So, whilst I do trust her to some degree, emotions run high, judgment gets clouded. I've made many poor choices myself.
To be fair, when I said she wouldn't, I meant she couldn't. I can bring us to the ship anytime, anywhere we are.
Because
You can just bamf us onto the ship.
above board. When?
Now, I guess.
Level 13! Level 7 spell slot. Teleport, bitch!
No, I suppose so.
Okay. Question. Follow-up question.
Yes, I have things from the ship.
Still... Oh, okay. You have some... Okay, got it. My follow-up question was like, if the ship were to be moved to a different position on the world, aka it flew away, you would not have the coordinates. But but you have something.
But I have I have a thing from the ship. It will bring me to the ship.
Canonically, what is that thing?
Probably some sort of a training equipment, like 1 pound weights.
We had to Gaba trying to grab the dumbbells and throwing them, and one is missing from the rack.
I don't know. I will.
Unbalanced piece
I've
of
written
shit.
down.
Who did not re-rack the dumbbells? Poor gym etiquette.
I've written down. I have something from the ship. I have literally have something from the ship. I will think of what that exactly is.
I don't know how the spell works with something that is not has relative coordinates and not absolute coordinates, but for the sake of simplicity, we are going to say yeah.
It's magic. There was a city on the back of a giant horse, Martin. Don't think about it.
Exactly.
There's
It's not that type of world.
There's a fucking colossal tree where the core of a planet should be, so why not?
Well, if we're going to wait till morning to break the news to Gabba, I suppose we should probably rest, and I think I'm going to use the archive while it's still here to further my research. So maybe we have a trump card against the pair of them if we do decide to go to the tower.
Any bit helps, probably.
Okay.
I will join you in the archive.
Okay. I have 3 questions. 1. Who's going to sleep?
I mean, the archive just takes an hour, so I am going to sleep there after the hour.
I only need 4 hours, I'm fine.
I'm going to sleep.
I don't know if Gavin would sleep, you know.
Although,
Okay. Based on what Breen wrote earlier, he would also go into the archive. What about Eric?
This is the bit Eric is thinking about. Would he actually go to sleep, or would he research and then come back out? What time of night is it?
Past dinner time, so about close to midnight.
Who has dinner at midnight? Jesus.
In my
anyway,
defense, until I move outside of Argentina, dinner was at 10:30.
Jesus.
Different cultures, man.
Yeah.
Latin America.
No, only us. Colombians don't do that.
Spain as well.
Not sure
Spain,
about
everything
Brazil.
that gets very hot during the day.
Doesn't the Spanish eat quite late as well?
Yeah,
I didn't know if you said Spanish. I was.
it might not matter to you. This is what I was saying.
What am I?
I was-
Here?
I was just reading my level up. Sorry.
Yeah, clearly.
No. It's,
I will probably go and research as well.
Okay. I'm going to need
And-
2 things. So all of those of you that go into the archive, so everybody except Arangab. History check. With disadvantage, might be regular based on what you are searching, because there is no guide, there is no guardian to the archive now. Magni, gone. Azerra, gone. And after that, I'm going to need a wisdom set. 4. We'll be rolling forever.
Okay.
I'm looking at things considering Luciana Valera and her past.
Okay. I forgot. I will maintain the disadvantage.
Okay.
What about Eric?
Oh, come on!
Ooh, there's a few things missing here. I'm gonna have to look at my original sheet. I am. What would I be looking for? I think I would be looking for. Probably. What cause of death? How the previous scions fell. So, i.e., like, what killed them?
Me, Jorel.
Did you just say me?
The
me,
word yes
and the
comes to
problem is
mind.
me.
That is going to be a very high DC. Because it's not only very private and restricted knowledge, it is non-existent for the most part. So the only way that you would be able to find information about that would be if somebody that had knowledge of the truth of the world had written a report or something, and it was either caught or produced by a member of the Glorium Arcanum.
So, question. Also, I had an intellect head ban of intellect on this. So my give me 1 second. Trying to find bits. I know my character sheet. Anyway, +4. History is a +8. Highest I can roll is a 28. I don't need you to tell me what the DC is. I just need to know, is it possible? Highest, it is possible. Is it a 5% chance possibility or like a 10%
You said
chance
not to tell you the
possibility?
DC, so I'm not going to tell you the DC.
Good man, good man. I was testing.
It's a hard one. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, I expected it to be hard.
The one for Kaulik is also relatively hard.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Kaoliki probably got stuck, found a book on folklore of the Fae or wherever, and she got stuck there.
We got to
Just found it then.
in a deserted, abandoned, horrible dystopian children's area of the library.
Brothers Grimm. Yeah, Brothers Grimm.
Like there's spider webs, everything, and Kaulik is like coloring on a book or something with crayons that have been left there for centuries. What about Kotul?
Quotal's gonna be continuing his long-term goal of investigating the Scion Non-Aggression Pact, which I'm currently on 41 out of 50 on for my history checks.
Sorry, can you repeat that? I got distracted reading the 20 messages that Callum has sent.
So I'm investigating the Scion Non-Aggression Pact,
Okay.
which is a disadvantage history check, which I'm 41 out of 50 on for my long-term goal.
So, for this one, you are not going to have disadvantage, as you do have previous knowledge, aka you being a Scion. So, the library, the archive itself is going to help you, guide you, even though there's no guardian and guide. But it will still be a pretty high DC because of the restrictions of the topic and the very, very, very few amount of people that are aware of it and would write a thing, similar to what Jason is trying to do.
Uh-huh. Right. Use a sorcery point to reroll that d20.
So, Ephraim.
Nope.
Green said that he wanted to investigate the magic behind the district and if it was possible for him to gain access to the control system and fly the islands of the Longstack. I'm going to say that is not outside of the realm of knowledge of Ephraim. So he is going to roll straight. And why don't we roll fate dice? Each of you tell me the reason.
God damn it.
So, fate dice. That's cocked, if I've ever seen. And that's a
Do you
4
want to explain?
for
Do
me.
you want to explain fate dice to new audience members?
Member, probably.
Okay.
Don't have
So,
Twitch open.
Probably.
Fate dice is a mechanic from High Rollers that we are borrowing. Each player and the GM at the table will roll a d6. On a 1, 2, or 3, the dice forms part of a pool belonging to the players. On a 4 to a 6, it does the same, but for the Game Master. At any moment that the players or Game Master roll a d20, before knowing the results, they can add any number of d6s available in their pool to the result of their roll. After doing so, it turns into the dice of the opposite side and vice versa. There's also some abilities that can be powered by using fate dice, or they can be used to change slightly the narrative. So, I rolled a 4. That's a dice for me. I see a 2 on Jason. For you, 5 on Calvin.
6. This is 6, not 2.
How is that 6?
How is that 6?
That's a US thing.
No!
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I have
What's
literally
7?
never heard of this.
6, 2 hands. 5
Yeah,
for
well, my
Paolo,
other hand's busy.
2 for Hala, 4 for David, and 2 for Rick. So that gives me 4 dice, and you guys have 2 dice. So let's get started with those history checks. Well, I'm assuming that you rolled rather poor.
Yeah, it will be a 7.
Yeah, as you said, you get distracted somewhere. Waddle.
I'm currently sitting at a 17.
What was it that you were researching?
The non-aggression pact.
The non-aggression pact. As I said, that is going to be a high DC. So you want to
Yes.
spend any fate dice?
What are we thinking, gang?
You do what you think is right.
Yeah, I'll spend both of them.
Both of them. They gave me more dice.
Where the hell is the dice thing in Foundry?
Party resources.
No idea.
on the character tab.
That'll bring me up to a 22.
Back with you. Jason, what did you want? Story check?
I have not rolled yet because I'm going to use one of my runes to give me my storm rune to basically give me advantage on a ability check, but because you said this is disadvantage, it is now a flat roll.
Yes.
Oh, that is not bad though. That's a natural 17, 25.
25. Ephraim rolled a 17 on the die for a total of 22. So, let's get started with Ephraim, since Bryn is not here. The archive is unlit. Those magical stones that emanated a light are no longer there. The vines that once covered the marble stones have withered and died. Dust is sitting on every surface. Spider webs are in every corner. There's traces of broken books, broken wood, tables and benches throughout the archive. The once golden spiraling staircase that descended through the central shaft is looking slightly rusted and dangerous. It creaks with each step. All of you, as you enter the archive, start almost unknowingly heading in a direction without a guide take you to the appropriate section where you could search the different bookcases. You have to rely on your intuition, knowledge of past times that you hear. History, magic, higher floors on arcane technology theories, treatises. You all in descending the staircase, following each other, following the path that in your mind has seemingly appeared. The first one to get separated from the group is Kauliki, as she stops in the first statement. The second one that departs the downward spiraling staircase is Ephraim. He goes onto a floor. All the section is dedicated to arcanotech search, magical scriptures, and treatises. Very complex engineer-like level. You know, those academic papers that are written with words that make it obnoxiously confusing and difficult to understand? That's everything that can be found on this floor. Almost guided by Providence, Ephraim walks to a bookcase and pulls out a leather-bound tome with a purplish cover and adorned with glyphs that seem to be glowing even throughout the dust that covers the book. 1 hour goes by as he reads. Apparently, the technology, arcane technology, that keeps the islands flying is not too dissimilar from a levitation and a gust spells, but on a massive scale, powered by thousands of shards of airstone that have been ingrained underneath the islands to control the changes in gravity that constantly. It's not holding itself in the air. Apparently that's the treatise goes on very much detail about the changes, the gravity of the world after the fracture. Goes in detail about how the islands fluctuate, shift, change, rotate radically. Think of it as on a space rocket the propulsion system, once it is in zero gravity, everything that it does is just adjustment. Change where the direction is going, initiate the momentum, and just alter it instead of constantly be propelling it. This is a way that airstones are able to be kept fueled, and there's, according to the diagram, it is thousands of stones, mostly of the green variety, air ones, air stones. First one with an eye, the second one with an eye. The other thing that the Fram learns this is that each island has a station of the Glorium Arcanum. They tend to be disguised as regular buildings in the different towns or cities or settlements that are part of cities. Sometimes they are not even part of one of the big settlements and hidden out somewhere. And most of them tend to lead to an underground facility in which a group of the Glorium Arcanum members controls and fine-tunes at every moment of the day the arcane scriptures, keep the island in the same path as the other districts, as well as the arcane scriptures that deal with the wind barriers and other climate control ones. Ephraim finds all of this, and he also rolls a 19 on the wisdom.
Oh, wisdom.
So I will get back to that in a moment. The second one, Bottle, you were trying to search why is it that Scions cannot affect each other directly, and Eric were trying to find the past Scions, how they make eyes or them. Both of you keep going down that spiraling staircase long time. You lose track. You look up, and the faint light that was on the first floor, or coming from the gate that had been opened to the outside world, starts being almost impossible to see. That's how deep. What did Eric Bottle roll for him? Bottle used a 20. Eric used a
22.
25.
You reached down, and it comes a point when a gate, metal gate, appears. It has chains holding it. Very obvious, restricted section of the library. Very obvious locks and chains. They access is restricted. Yet, when Bottle goes and touches the door, picks up the lock, it seems to just shudder, almost as if it is so rusted, so old, that it disintegrates and turns into dust with the faintest pulse. The metal door opens. You can see this seems to be the lowest floor of the archive. There doesn't seem to be any staircase way to keep going down. I imagine either to the lava core, magma core glaive, or any other cantrip, you have a light source with. Each bookcase, unlike anything from the high upper floors, seems to be a crystal wall, almost like a glass pane covering the front. And instead of being large bookcases with dozens of books, there seems to be only one book, or one page journal, or one parchment. Each one of them seem to be from very different time periods history. Them seem full leather-bound books, them just an inscription onto a wooden bark of a tree. Bottle. Eric, before I continue, how do you roll that wisdom?
Mm. Cocked.
18.
What was a natural 18? 21.
Aulike?
17.
Bottle. Let's start with you, why don't you?
Oh.
It seems like what you find are pages of skin bound parchment. Looks to be perhaps green, feels slightly brilliant with patches of blue that seem to slightly glow under certain light. And written on it there seems to be a red sort of lettering, almost blood-like. You start reading. There seems the information that you get is written from a personal point of view, as if the writer themselves was a scion. It goes over how they tried check the limits of the non-aggression pact between all demons, and how it would affect the progression of the plan of returning home. It seems like this scion of undisclosed name refers to another scion, their experiments and practices, as Halamp, Halpladm, Halavum. And as it goes, I tried hitting Caliber. I blade. Hitting him with a hammer and a nail to the hand not work. He tried with a rubber hammer. That one worked. I can make contact with it, as not with the intent of damaging directly. He tried cutting off a piece of his own flesh. That worked. I am writing on it as of this moment. It seems that after comes apart main body, I can interact with it. The quill penetrates the skin without a problem, leaving the traces. Day 24 of trial. Apparently, if the attack is not directed at Scion, it can still deal damage. Need to be careful of explosions, other things that might affect our surroundings. Side note, I tried destroying a whole roof on top of Caleb, and it worked. He was fine, Dustin. Day 348 of trial. Mind control working. We will need to be careful of Servile. Change approach to the. Luckily, I have a very good mind on top of it. That's the end of the entry. Jason. Eric looks in the same aware. You are looking at. You don't find a single piece of information containing what you are looking for. That you have to go a variety of tomes, books, notes. Some seem to be letters, some seem to be reference people. What clearly seems to be pseudonyms, real name. And as you are looking around, you find the names Ishina, 7 Lions. They, for the most part, seem to have died undisclosed questions. Doesn't seem like a single thing. Doesn't seem like they fought each other. It just seems like they died over the course of centuries. Most of them living past the age of the original, based on the document mine. The information that you find is perhaps not useful, but it gives a glimpse to the idea that Scions seem to live longer than a regular person from the ring. They seem to be harder to kill, almost powered by epic boons of divine blessings. Throughout all of these notes that you read and you bring together, there seems to be a very distinct power source called Scions, demons. He granted epic boons that would be deemed cataclysmic. Many they seem to go society, hiding themselves as people, sometimes meeting with each other, almost drawn by a sort of male, and describe it as a pull, describe it as light that allows them to identify other Scions. Some of those encounters did not run out so well, but for the most part, most Scions seem to not interfere with each other's. You keep going through a chronology of centuries, thousands. It seems that to go even before the age of the gods, even records from earlier than the we are right now in the year 635 of the God's Age. Seem to find, if they are to be believed, journals earlier that, and something that catches your attention because notes from before the year 0, 635 years ago, seem to be made of a material that you do not recognize. A sort of, it feels like parchment, feels too soft, too perfect to be from 600 years ago. Based on all you, Eric is an academic. He has studied history for most of his life. All the history that you have studied shows that this parchment could not be from 600 years ago. There was no techniques. There was, for the descent of the gods, the world was in chaos. Society had no chance to flourish. The Albians were only defending themselves against the primordial threats. Same was for the dwarves, giants. They did not come together until the descent of the gods. So it doesn't make sense. The other thing that happens, Eric, you notice almost like a clock in your mind. At some point you start thinking of maybe how much time has gone, and you realize it has been more than an hour. Heck, it even almost took you an hour to go down the stair. You just seem to have lost like the track of time. You are not entirely certain of how much time has passed. Doesn't seem like Waddle has noticed it.
I tap. I give a sharp claw tap to Cortal's shell, and I say, "We have to go. It's been more than an hour."
You sure? Barely feels like we just started.
Remember, there is no Magni here, so there is nothing to stop someone from just being here. We don't even know what happens if we stay here much longer past the hour. We have to get Kaoliki
Yes,
and
we should
Ephraim.
find them both.
We got to the upper floors. Ephraim pokes his head out. He didn't go as deep as the other two, and he starts coming back. Kaoliki, you are very much aware that you got distracted and sidetracked and separated from the rest, and your research doesn't seem to prove. But you are very aware of the time that has passed. Being on the upper floors for DC for the wisdom score wasn't as high, and you rolled rather well. Same for it. It's been perhaps an hour and 10 minutes since you entered Arcane, and you notice that you have not been forcefully ejected. You hear the footsteps on the staircase as Ephraim is climbing up the stair, reading a book as he is walking. What do you do?
Oh, I think we are able to stay longer. I mean, I'm not great with maths, Ephraim, but I think we are longer than an hour in here.
Yes. I was such similar. I was ready for being thrown out of this always, but seems like right. Thing change. I don't know if good. Do you think that Magni and Azerra had a reason to throw us out after nowhere, or they just wanted?
I'm sure they had a reason, but I don't know if the reason is and is I don't know if we can fathom the reason, if you know what I mean.
Do you think we should look for Bottle Eric, or should we head to the exit and check with?
I will thaumaturgy my voice down the stairs. It's been an hour! Come back up!
It's been an hour, an hour, an hour, an hour, an hour. Eric, you have a fucking stupid passive perception, don't you?
What do you think?
I'm going to say you are on the upper teens.
Well, I'm not. I don't think my passive will be that of Vishar's, but it is pretty high. It's 17.
Oh, I'm 18. So.
Oh, there you go. Well,
19.
Why do all of you have?
there you go.
20. Alright. Just to throw it in.
Look, you have not had the player who has had a passive perception of 22 yet at level 7. No, level 8.
Well, taking in a feat to do it is a bit of a cheaty way.
It is, but god damn it, it is fucking annoying is what that is.
I had 32.
What the fuck?
See everything.
It's hard to say from
Feat
how
and
far
expertise, I
away
think.
the Kaulik's scream yelling comes from, as it reverberates through all of the shaft, but you manage to hear it, and this is about the same time that Eric was tapping onto bottle. And at this time, all of you feel slight pain on the back of your head. You go to touch it, and Eric, some of your lion hair is on your lion hand. Quattle, you have scales that seem to have been peeled off out of the back of your head. Auliki, like strands of your hair, and the same for Ephraim, seem to land on your hand. All of you take 19 points of psychic damage as 1 hour has passed. You stay
okay.
in the library for as long as you will. Every hour that you spend here, take 1 D100 psychic damage.
100!
Right, I look at Quarter and say, we must go.
Yes. I can speed us out here a bit quicker if you.
I've got Boots of Haste. I will click it, grab Quarter, and start hoofing back the way we came.
Okay. It took you guys like 45 minutes to descend the staircase. You just lost track of time.
Yeah, I shout to Ephraim and Kauliki, meet us by the entrance. Do not linger longer.
Like it has passive perception. Stupid hell, so you do hear that. Ephraim is like,
Come on.
did you hear something?
Yes, come on, let's go out.
Just for fancies. Eric and the Quattle. You have flying speed, you have haste. Just for fancy. Roll me an athletics or acrobatics check if you are using stuff like flying or jumping or.
Oh, it's athletics for me.
Athletics for you to just like flash running up the staircase and see if you don't trip and hit your lion face against the
Yes.
You guys are lucky that I rolled so low on the D100.
Yeah.
Oh, natural 20, baby.
Eric is Hussein Volteric. What about Quattle?
I'm being carried.
Oh.
Yeah, you are. I was just like, no, I can't wait for you to catch up. We going.
Okay.
Well, in theory, if we wanted to do malarkey, I could probably teleport us in like under 90,
Yeah,
80,
yeah, I'm not
270.
you are
I could probably.
You are enjoying being carried like a princess.
Yeah. I could teleport us 380 feet in.
Oh, this is
24
more.
seconds.
You guys descended like hard to tell, but maybe more than a kilometer underground. But with that fucking natural 20, don't worry about it. Or like, Hotel, you don't even feel like shaking each time that Eric takes a leap. You know, like that sort of Japanese walking where they seem to be gliding above the ground that don't never go up or down. You just feel like that. It's so smooth, so perfect ride. 5 out of 5 stars. You make your way up. Kauliki, Ephraim come out. What is Bishar doing in this office turned bedroom for the last 4 hours?
Just relaxing, probably sleeping at some point.
Perfect.
Wait a second, for the last 4 hours?
Well,
He
I
only
did say I
needs
was
to
going to
sleep
sleep.
4 hours happened outside for that hour that you spent inside.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
shit.
Yeah. That's what I
Ishar,
was exactly scared of.
you are sleeping, and out of nowhere, door opens. Kauliki Ephraim come running in.
Oh, must have dozed off. Did you find anything useful?
I
Yes,
didn't.
no.
Well,
What time
Why?
is it?
I don't know. I look aside at the stars. They don't seem to have moved since a couple of hours ago. Why do I need to slam the door on the outside? What's going on?
it appears the archive is destabilizing, and we can now stay in there longer than the hour. But
Oh,
it appears that the effect is that we don't know how long we stay in there.
right.
Which
And
means we also degrade within the library.
Right. That's not great.
No.
Alright, so next time we go in, probably
but
find
the
a way to track the time.
system.
Yeah. Well, I don't really know. Is there a clock or something? How's this handled usually in D&D lore?
There is a clock in the
In
room.
mind.
So for transparency effects, the E of the Arcaneum's archive now that doesn't have a guardian attached to it still works, but when you enter, you roll 1d10 for every creature entering. The time dilution gets adjusted to the highest of those. In this case, 4
Okay.
creatures entered, and I did not roll higher than a 4 on those d10s.
Okay.
So, and in terms of time, it's almost 3 in the morning.
Oh, you did really spend a long time in there. Did you at least manage to make the most out of this time?
Well, I think I figured out the best ways to take it to Jor-El and Azerra. I don't think it's going to get any better than simply unintentional damage from spells that go over an area and using the terrain to our advantage for me and Gabba.
Alright, fair enough.
Or possibly something like psychic attacks can work. However, I'm not very proficient in them.
Sorry. To clarify, psychic attacks, if they are directed, single target attacks, won't work. And if the center of an AoE spell is a Scion, you won't be able to use them. Like, physically, Quotal and Gabba are unable to. But if you were to like target another creature, say Gabba is in melee range with Shoralf, and you put a fireball on Gabba, Shoralf is part of the AoE.
But Gabba is still
Yeah, but it's
not,
also a science.
not
So,
gonna work because
Well,
she is
yeah,
also a
okay.
Scion.
Yeah, Eric. Let me change that to Eric.
So,
You are right.
can it just be a point on range? Does it have to be an actual creature?
No, it has to be focused on another creature. So what you guys have been doing of like placing the fireball 10 feet up in the air so that it only catches a single creature, that would not work because the main point of that intention would be hitting a Scion. But if your main intention is killing another random guy and the Scion just gets caught up on it, that's fine.
Okay. But mind control, yes.
Yes, like you
Supposedly.
saw, at least for the Scion of Manipulation, Verbil Shoralf. At the very least, you remember he himself used Power Word Stun on
Pain.
You don't know if you would be able to do the same thing, as your abilities are of different origins, but it could certainly work if you try it.
Oh, could it be that the Scions like nature so could affect other Scions? So Jor-Elf is Scion of bloody telepathy or whatever, and he can use psychic on others. So if Teofir is like sleepy lady, then possibly stuff like sleep or other methods could possibly work. I'm just spitballing here.
Actually have the confirmation to that question already, as you yourself use Rim on Shoralf.
Okay. I'll take that.
Quick question. Mechanically, if say AoE spell goes off, and let's say in combat, this is kind of slightly above table. If say I were to push, shove, yeet one of the Scions into a fireball, and let's say Corto's intention was not to launch a fireball so that a Scion can land in said fireball, would that still work? Or is that still considered immunity? Sort of the intentional damage from Quotal.
Let me see if I understood you correctly.
Yes.
Quotal readies an action to launch a fireball in this unoccupied space.
Let's the scenario would be I have a hold action. So my held action goes off on Quotal's fireball. Quotal does not know I'm doing fireball. Quotal does not know that I'm going to throw, let's say, Jor-Elf into a fireball.
Follow-up question. Is Quotal targeting another creature into the AoE, or is Quattle targeting an empty space?
Let's say the scenario is yes. He is targeting. Let's say he's targeting a mass
Say or
of
B, not
soldiers.
yes.
No. Let's say he is targeting a group of 20 soldiers charging us.
Okay.
He's intentionally targeting those soldiers, but not Jorov.
I want to tell you, you can certainly try, but based on the history check, if the main target is not a Scion, it should work. But if the main target is an empty space, like Quattle is holding an action to throw a fireball at an empty space, and Eric is holding an action to throw into that, Quattle would not physically be able to finish the incantation of the spell.
I surmise that we couldn't game it that way.
Yes.
Where, go into this empty space.
Yes,
Type
but
of deal.
if he was targeting, like you said, a group of soldiers, minions, whatever, then yes.
Sweet.
Unintentional AoE.
Yeah.
And as I said, if like the center point of an AoE was another creature in melee range, as long as it's not a Scion, it's fine. So say Eric is in melee range with Shoralf, fireball on Eric. Sorry, Eric.
Careful spell. Careful spell.
that would not work. Because the intention is the important part. Your intention is to harm Eric. Everything else is collateral damage.
Okay. So
Yeah. It's all about intention.
all about intent. Okay.
It's kind of like a psychological stopgap. You can experiment as much as you want with GABA. You two are Scions after all.
Yeah, we got to figure out what GABA can do. What
Meanwhile, we got to
particular
GABA.
abilities.
Roll me a D100. Out of like 100 hit points, let's say, of this training room, how much have you destroyed?
You're dead.
How many rounds of combat would that roughly be?
Too many.
Very well.
Shit ton.
What?
Roll a D100. That's for Francis.
D100. Oh, D100. Not D200?
Do you have that?
Well, it'd be two 100s.
Roll 2D10.
66.
The room looks like shit. There's like wood panels of like the walls have been ripped apart. Half of like the dumbbells have been bent over. The floor has like hammer strikes everywhere. Yeah, like somebody could still walk in this place, but honestly, it's in not a good state. And just because why not, I'm going to take some hit points away from the Elysian Veil.
Thanks.
I feel like the training room was built so it can take damage.
You said you
It's
yourself grabbed the hammer and hit the floor of the training room.
It's at the wall, but understandable end. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
So let me check. The Elysian Veil has currently 169 hit points. That's
Nice.
That's
Nice.
because I'm going to take 7 hit points out of that. Not much.
But is that such a nice?
I don't care. So not like from outside, nobody can see it. Maybe, but the room is wrecked. And remember, this room also has, like all of the rooms in the Elysian Veil, have some sort of thaumaturgy cantrip on them whenever the doors are shut, so no noise is heard from outside the training room. Meanwhile, inside there's like heavy metal music and chaos and destruction. And we cut to Thuras and Marlish just drinking tea, staring at each other.
Like in fine China.
I wouldn't say there's any
Yeah,
music
no
at all,
one did.
either in in this room is just me panting. And at the end of it, you probably see Gabba, like a strong workout, or you've just got no energy, and I'm just literally just trying to swing, and I can't even pick my axe up, my warhammer up, and I just, you would see, whereas before you'd see that like anger, red, steam. Now her scars have just gone blue. There's probably a tiniest bit of red where the temple is, maybe right where the neck, but she just kind of just, with anger, just falls to her knees and starts weeping openly. Just, I would say ugly crying is probably the best way to describe it without going into too much detail. And just saying, just trying to get words out, really, trying to like come to terms with what's going on. I think probably the last 3 months, going from a plucky little adventurer to a demon scion with the world potentially going to end in, not knowing what the hell to do. Someone she classes as probably her best friend in the entire world, potentially going to get lynched. Don't know what's going to happen there. Don't even know the outcome. He's potentially just wasting his last life, for no reason whatsoever. It's just an overbearing emotional anguish at this point. And probably the only thing she gets that comes out of her mouth is, just come back to me. I need you. And that's her calling for friend. Just anything, any semblance of just anyone in there to come back.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
Would you say that these 4 hours of you crashing the room and venting out all of your anger would count towards a communion, a search of yourself, convening with your mind inside in some way, meditation in some way, that would allow you to roll on your long-term goal of contacting your lost friend?
Pub table, technically with the religion, I would say it's a weird sort of meditation, almost like when you go to the gym, like you go for a run to like de-stress, or walk to de-stress, or go to the gym to de-stress. So I'm guessing it's kind of, yes, you're just like rethinking scenarios, going over past events, wondering what you could do better, almost like a soul searching type, some sort of soul searching type scenario. I would say, yeah.
Now, so far, we have been rolling religion. I'm going to give you a chance. You want this vision, or do you want it to be different?
What skill check you offer me? How do I not know yet?
I'm going to athletics.
Oh, yeah. Go from a -2 to a +10.
I'm gonna take that as a yes.
Right. Do I just normal roll? I rolled the nat one.
Or
Nat 11.
now, good news. We're only 9 on 9 total. As
It was impossible to fail.
it was, as you are rolling your muscles around, venting out your anger, and you no longer are able to lift up your or Warhammer, and you say, please come back. Something. You hear a faint voice, definitely lower. Last time I heard it, but undistinguishably robotic way. You hear whisper, I am here. Press. How may be this
He would stop, not thinking, not knowing what to do, kind of not even breathing. Are you back?
my power source has been restored to the base needed for communication, though my services are very much delayed and interrupted. A base minimum has been met for communication to be established. I apologize for any distress that my absence might have caused you. You need assistance, Mistress Gava to Talu.
Emma clutches where she presumes her heart is, but she has not enough intelligence to know where it is, so kind of just somewhat in the mid-center of the chest. I need to know what to do. What do I do next?
I sense distress and anguish in your tone. How may I be of assistance?
Uh, I need you. I need you to tell me where the rest of Thelmrion's armor and equipment is.
One moment, please. You hear in your mind the sound of internet connection from the 2000s.
How to date us, Martin?
I have not completed the task, yet I have been successful in locating a fragment of the armor. Kava Tuvalu. You like to know its location?
Yes. Yes, I would.
The closest piece of the armor is located 269 kilometers to the northwest. Based on the maps stored in your memory banks, this would coincide with the territory known as Trailwind.
Of course. Of
Oh.
fucking course.
Looks like I know where we're going, boys. Gabba kind of closes her eyes, regathering herself. Are there any closer, or was that the closest?
I apologize, mistress. My power source has been depleted. I cannot expand your senses further than that. If you were able to connect to a larger power source and restore more of my functionality, I'd be able to sense further down. Or if you were able to access a broader network from before the fracturing, sensors might be available throughout the remnants of the world. Would you like me to tell you where to find them?
Yes. Yes.
One moment, please. Or whatever the sound
I guess
was.
while I'm waiting, I'll pick up one of like a glass fragment on the floor and I'll start like wiping my eyes, making sure that I look somewhat presentable.
Sorry, you said that you pick up a glass from the floor and you wipe your face with the glass?
Well, sorry, no. I've meant to say mirror, so I'll pick up like a mirror fragment because I guess there'd be some sort of mirror on the floor. Pick it up and like with my other hand, wipe away like the tears, maybe some makeup or whatever. Make myself look kind of all right while I'm waiting for like friend to give me back some more information. Because as we know, 2000's internet was very slow.
Yeah, this is not even like broadband. Like suddenly,
Copper.
the connection gets broken, and you hear like Thuras, "Hello, Thuras, get out of the phone! You are breaking my internet."
Wow.
After a few moments, you hear once again the voice of friend going, "I have located a connection nexus about 1,759 kilometers to the southwest. According to the maps that you have encountered, this is somewhere in the vicinity of the land known as Grelia. Would you like me to pinpoint its location?"
Gamma freezes. Did you say Grelia?
"Yes, mistress. It is spelled Greli.
Stop, friend.
Hey.
I was so close to finish my phrase. You have become very rude since I've been gone, mistress."
Okay. You power down. Save your energy.
If you
When I need you, be ready.
If you, I'll be here for you. Always, mistress. Just try not to die once again. My power supply is not at a level that can withstand it. I won't be able to protect you until I am recharged.
Thank you, friend. But before you go, is there a way to mend or maybe potentially meld you and Azerra together? Because you are both part of me. I feel like combined you may be unstoppable.
Can
How
you give
to
me
break a DM.
an insight check of like self-introspection?
Yes.
Are you trying to become a god?
Maybe. But on the opposite scale, I got a nat 20,
Mhm.
Ah.
and that's just straight because I have no wisdom.
Um, um,
This is where we go to break.
Exactly.
Okay. 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 I detect a second entity inside your consciousness, Mistress Kaba Tutalu. There seems like the two entities are colliding against each other. Put in layman terms, battling for control of the consciousness. It seems like your condition is unstable, fusioned yet not fully fused. You are in grave danger of losing your sense of self and becoming a different person altogether, Miss. Were you able to take full control of this second source of power, unknown soul, unknown entity, unknown, you'd be able to tap into a different unknown source, unknown of unknown It could be a way of gaining further unknown power. It could also be a way of restoring my unknown source. I don't really have a guide or manual to give unto you. I'm sorry, I'm not able to complete the task. This one, identified as friend, has failed you. I shall now terminate myself.
Friend, you've done enough. I feel like you've answered something that I've known deep down. Power down. I will call you. Oh, go on.
Would you like this one to continue with the Harakiri act?
What?
Say no.
No.
In your mind eye, you see a giant Baymax blob of white Michelin with like a katana about to pierce his own chest and puts it down. Understood, mistress. I'll be in restoration mode. If you need to call me, you may use a bonus action to do so. I am told that's how the young ones say it nowadays.
Nowadays.
What up, fellow kids?
And then I will kind of just, there a long sigh, stand up, I can put my hand on the door and I just say to the room, it's showtime. And I'll just open the door.
Fade black.
Okay. Do you go to sleep because it's 2 in the morning and you are exhausted, stabbed multiple times, I believe exploded once, thrown to the ground, dragged on the floor, and carried about 20 beast walkers as you took very heavily steps, plus all of the stress, plus all of the dialogue, plus all of the afternoon, plus the emotional baggage.
That's the emotional damage.
I'm gonna ask a question. Can I get almost like a well rested if I sleep with Thuras? Like a dour bargain.
You.
The cannon attempt.
You horrible Gabba, you.
I
Showtime,
want
baby.
to say no because Thuras would not let you sleep.
Oh.
Secondly, if she were to actually let you sleep, that would mean Marlish is alone taking care of the ship throughout the evening, and that you sleep also 8 hours, which is the same as sleeping alone. So I'm going to say no, but you can try.
That's fine. No. I just thought it was a dead shit. That's fine. I'll open the door. I'll kind of put on a. Have they got high perceptions? Probably. Oh, Malice may do, but he's also depressed. So he may not care.
You look at Marlish and he's on like a crystal kind of like phone, and you hear like tuck 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 tuck, and he's like has like headphones on and is taking like the worst watch of all history of watches.
Okay. I don't really care at this point. I'll just say you're doing like full smile. You're doing a good job, everyone. Keep it up. Wake me if the others come. And then I will, and I'll make sure I emphasize I will decide our course next. And I'll go to bed.
Oh, You're out of the room. Are you? No. Okay. I don't really care.
I'm not going to respond. It's like a
Fine.
teenager, you just let them do their own thing.
Nice talking to you. And like he goes back to like his crystal. What are the other 5 of you doing? We cut back to the enclave as everybody comes out of the archive. It is 2 in the morning.
What time is the public trial and lynching due for?
No, what made me laugh.
Early afternoon? Early afternoon, I want to say.
You got time.
I'll
Late
look
morning?
to the others.
I don't know, what's the time that political announcements of international
High
magnitude get to
noon.
be made?
Yeah.
High noon is like a good time for
Yeah.
like executions, I
Everybody
reckon.
goes to sleep and nothing can be done. So
I'll recount the information I found about, which is mostly scions die of old age. Mostly,
No, very old age.
yes. It's not much else information about how they can be killed, unfortunately, but unfortunately I must rest, so I'm going to go to sleep.
Eric? And I'll just put the bed after him.
Mm.
You are mute.
if you are saying anything, you are muted.
Yeah.
Am I?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're
Now,
fine.
now I can hear you.
I want to say that I absolutely and truly hate what is, you know that.
I do.
And I'd rather see the whole fucking city burn than you die.
And yet, my heart is with this city. It is with these people.
These people who are going to attack us just because one general cannot distinguish between true and false.
These people have done nothing to us.
All they done was defended what they thought was right. Would you kill a child merely because it did something it did not know was wrong? We have to teach them what is better, even if it hurts us. And
I wouldn't teach a child by spanking another child to look.
I cannot fathom or hope to convey this, and I sort of gesture out the window, what I have for this city, what the history I have learned, the years, the origins, everything. To say I would rather see my city burn. At that point, that would be if Jorov was about to take the city for himself. I would rather burn, torch, kill every single citizen before he could take it.
I know. And I know this is why I'm not going to stop whatever is going to happen tomorrow. I know this because you're doing this for the people. I know that. I just want to say that I hate it. And I want to say that I want to put it out. And I very much think that Gaba actually got the better end of the deal here. She left. I'm saying just because I would hate myself. Something unreversible. And I wasn't. And the tiniest little squeeze on the giant's paw.
I sort of gently squeeze back and I say, I have some words that I will impart before the lynching begins. I have it would be, I suppose, a test of conviction for them to see who is truly clearest of mind, who can strike me.
This is a single office with the bookcase that opened to reveal a king-size bed. We see Ephraim sitting on the main desk of the office, kind of like looking at Derek and going, hug, hair, hug, hair, hug, hair.
What?
What?
Hug, hair, hug, hair, hug, hair.
No.
Oh, wake up to the next day. Sun rises.
Oh, fuck yeah, slow rest, baby.
Hang on, I want to try something.
Oh my fucking God. I hate those words.
I love these words.
As it's the middle of the night, I'm gonna try a cheeky dream spell. My target is Jor-Elf.
Martin is, let me get to the fucking lynching. I want to smack Eric's ass.
Just for reference, are you using the 2014 or the 2024?
I'm using the one which is attached to the sleep mask. Whichever one that is, which is probably the 2014 one.
It wasn't. Okay. Let me do some quick math of possibilities and chances. So corroborate my math, somebody that's harder than what I am.
Nope.
Jor-Elf said in the previous dream, "You know how hard it is for a true elf to fall asleep. I had to time this just to meet with you." Which would mean that he only slept 4 hours, like other Albions. Now, I want to leave this to a chance, but I don't have a dice that is like 1d24. So,
I'm sure there's can do that.
you know what?
Where?
I think I can actually, in Foundry, say, roll me 1d24. It will work. 1d24?
basically
fact, it
a
does
random
work.
number generator.
Wow. Technology. Okay, that saved me a lot of math. Okay. So that means you have out of a 1d24, 4 chances to catch him.
Well, Dream basically works that after you start casting it, if the target falls asleep at any point after that, then it
Right.
activates.
Quaddle sleeps for 8 hours, I'm guessing.
No, he sleeps for 4.
So 4 hours. Okay. So we will leave it as I said at 1d24. Do you want low or high?
Cool.
So 1 through 4 or 20 to 24?
Let's go for higher.
You go to sleep. You cast the spell on yourself. You put the sleeping mask.
Oh
and
no, you don't fall to sleep. You stay awake during the casting.
You put on the sleeping mask during the casting. You enter this trance-like state. Nothing happens.
Yeah.
There's no connection.
Darn it. Oh well. Get the charges back anyway.
Sun rises. Before the sun finishes being up in the sky, two things catch your attention now that you are back at Longstad Empire. This world, even during night, on the north hemisphere, there's always a shining light that seems to be a constant sun in twilight. The main source of light is still the sun flying far away from the planet. That means that during evening, the closer you are to the north, the brighter that the night is, all the way up to a twilight and none darker than a twilight. And the closer south of the world that you are, the closer it is to a constant dusk, constant night. Ishar, while you were in the land currently known as Grelia, you were drifting, you were flying. From time to time, you would notice that the days would be slightly larger or slightly shorter, but with no way of knowing how close you were to the north and south, or you were only able to keep track of the days of the year, know if you were on winter, spring, autumn, or summer. As you look out to the stars, tell the time when everybody comes out, you notice that it's really hard to see the stars here, as it seems that there is a sun in the horizon, not the sun, it's the one on the north, so you get the feeling that you are fairly close to the North Pole. Sun rises. While the light is still brightening up, you hear a knock on the door to this office. Knock, knock, knock. And with your passive perceptions, all of you, Ephraim, you are able to know that the knock from a regular person was at like 3/4 height of the door. This would be like 1/3 of the height of the door. So somebody that is rather short, the one knocking at the door.
It's short elf. Sorry. Come in.
Probably
I don't do this often, but Rick, you can have you can have inspiration because.
Thank you.
Don't give inspirations for bad puns.
You See the door opens, and once again, this half centaur, half dog pug with
Abomination.
with the military with the military jacket is there, and a hat on covering his pug ears as Commander Paggington stands on the hallway and goes, I certainly hope that you all had a good night's rest. Young Star Carver, are you certain that you want us to go forward with your plan? I know that you announced it yesterday as you went into the podium on the courtyard, yet we are about to do the morning announcements for the whole city.
You tell me, General, if we were to not go through with what we promised for the people, what is the reaction? What will the people say about their leaders who let a supposed criminal go without punishment, who let him escape into the night?
You do have a point. But I, in good consciousness, cannot send you to death and against your will.
It will not be against my will. I will do this willingly because I will bleed for the city time and time again, despite what my other compatriots might think.
Very honorable. Well, you have about an hour to get ready. It will be at the first bell of the morning when the market is in its busiest hour. So, we are going to move ahead with the announcement. I hope you are ready for it. Gentlemen, ready? And he, four legs, turns around in place and walks away.
Eric is basically kickstarting Christianity in this world, dying for their sins and all.
Hey. If Jesus was muscular and built like a fucking brick house,
And a live man.
Carpenters are pretty strong.
It's not like they had digital cameras back then, so we just have to take the word for it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and as
but
we
you
know, they sang "Always Look on the Bright Side of Life." Well, it happened.
Jesus Christ.
So,
Hey.
Kauliki would be like, before anything worse happens here with the puns, Kauliki would be just like looking at him. Against my better judgment, I promise you, I will not do anything that harms our outlook or our look on how we are viewed.
Thank you. Despite my for a lack of better term, dislike for playing politics, one could say I play it quite well sometimes.
who?
You
Who the
do.
fuck says that? You are literally going to the street to get stabbed by people. That's not being a good politician.
Yeah, but it's what a lot of people want to do. So he's giving them what they want.
Yeah.
Give the people what they want.
In fact, he's doing better than most politicians by actually giving them what they want, instead of just promising it and then ignoring it after election season's over.
About
And he's not even elected.
8 in the morning,
Yeah.
all of you, except Ephraim, can hear
Gabba with me. I need someone to cuddle up against.
out in the streets outside the enclave, which is located in the old part of Nersandia. You can hear people starting going around. If any of you poked your head through any of the windows, you could see that those reporters from the Laughing Wisp Guild and other types of reporters seem to have camped outside the enclave, sharing coffee and waiting for anything to come. You can see that there's like some people outside of the enclave, also in what looks to be like chairs or other things where they slept there through the night. Some of them with, once again, passive perception of 17 or higher. Notice that some of them seem to be very young children. Some seem to be in their middle, late 20s, early 30s. Some of them seem to be in their 50s or 60s. A variety of beast walkers. Many of them seem to be, from what you can see from here, have cried a good deal. And as all of this is getting ready, all of you have your morning routines throughout all the city, even to the outskirts of the city. Gava can hear this from the Elysian Vale. It's not arcane magic, because you know that Nersandia would be against it. Seems to be some sort of mechanism, and if you, once again, all of you fucking having high passive perception, look, you can see that there seems to be like metal tubes, like in a ship when you speak to like a tube and it resonates throughout all of the ship to go to the different rooms. And it sounds distorted. It's by no means a good quality, but it's barely understandable. You can hear the voice of council member Mama Star Carver, as you hear with her own voice, she goes, "Ping pom pom pom. Good morning, citizens of Nersandia. Today, I bring you a morning announcement. Like any day, the weather will be sunny and bright. We do not expect any sudden shakes or complications as we are entering a zone of slow winds. Expect the market to be busy and full of people from 9 in the morning until 4. We have a special deal in the Enzo's Massage Emporium. Bring a friend, take 2. Enzo is very proud to be sponsoring today's announcement. On to the news of the city. There was an incident yesterday afternoon. The Council of Elders and the Council of Fangs have convened together and came to a joint decision. The perpetrator of such offense have been taken under custody by the Council. They have been interrogated and have shared some truths that might shake the reality we know. A formal announcement shall be made 2 hours at the central marketplace. We at the councils ask that all of you please attend. This will be a speech that might change your lives. We are facing rough times, and we know that many of our kin perished on yesterday. attack. One of the involved members said attack has volunteered to take on the wrath and the grievance of our king. He has called for an old rite that we have not used in a century. We have not used in decades. Any of you that might want to vent out anger in a public lynching without opposition might attend the marketplace 2 hours after listening to the speech. You will have a chance to take up the weapon that took the lives of our kinsmen and wield it against the involved member, identified as Eric Starcarver. You see that their voice trembles throughout this last part. This is a rite that has not been made in our city for many years, but we believe at the councils that retributions are needed to forge a new path ahead. More details to come on the public oratory by the council members and the group known as the Wanderers in the central marketplace. Once again, we ask everybody to attend, if possible. And remember, anybody that comes will get a free coupon for Enzo's massage therapy. More news and the weather in an hour. Have a bright day, Sandy. For the pack, for the den, until the end. Pim pom pam pim. That is where we are going to go to a break. More news after the break.
Madam.
And we are back to the second part of Fate Weaver.
Well,
And Dog decided to get some pets, and Jason has a coat. Dogs showing their ass. Really cute. Okay. So, are you guys ready to go kill a lion? As
Ready to let me.
morning announcement. It is about 10. Eric, you have been waiting in reception of the enclave. As you are waiting, your home not far away from this place, just a couple blocks the south of Sandia. So your workplace is also rather close to the central market. So you are aware of noise levels, the amount of people in it. It's a sound that you grew up with. You know that there's always, it's kind of like living close to an avenue, are used to, are striving by. You get the feeling, stupidly high passive, that is on par with some of the festivals. There are crowds. You can hear hundreds. And you look up.
is
Yeah,
that,
he's
is he
cracking
just
it.
very bad
Yeah.
for
Yes.
everyone?
Big enough.
Is it better now?
Just stop down the phone, everything be fine.
Close bit turn off.
No, he's
Is,
still a bit cracked.
is it better?
No.
It sounds like you got internet issues more than anything.
It's the dog. The dog must go.
The dog is taking out all the
No.
internet. So, is it better now? Can you guys hear me?
The
Okay. I literally changed nothing. Oh, the choice of live streaming. You guys let me know whenever you start talking like a regular person again.
You sound like Animal Crossing.
can't remember.
Jesus, it's taking 67.
I'm moving porn. And
Rick and Morty.
that is literally what Okay, we come back from technical difficulties and the shot, as I said, porn. So
Wonderful.
leave a comment of what you think happened there. So, outside of the technical difficulties, as we come back for second, Eric, your workplace, your home are not far away from the enclave. They are really close to the central. It's that sensation, you know, when you live close or on a busy avenue that you grow used to the sound of cars passing by. The sound that you hear from inside the doors of the enclave as people are starting to gather to see your lynching is on par with the amount of people that you would hear on a day of a festival, any other holiday. The central market would be bustling. Poke your head through any of the curtains, second floor of the enclave. You can see people as far as your eyes can see. The streets to the side, and every single lane that you can see in between the market stalls is covered by people, shoulder to shoulder. They are not crushing each other, but there's hundreds, thousands. The population of Nersandia is around the 6,000 to 7,000 people at the moment. You get the feeling that
Jesus.
most of those beast walkers are that morning announcement seems to have drawn everybody and their dog into this place. As a matter of fact, you see a dog beast walker with a corgi on a backpack. As all of you reconvene except Kava, on the doors that open the enclave to the courtyard and after the fence to the market, you see Paddington kinda like staring at the door. You see that he has like cards, notes on his hand, and he goes like, oh. He seems to like put them onto his jacket as you all walk close. Well, I certainly hope you're ready. We prepared something like more theatrics. See that there's another Peace Walker, feline, probably in sort of like the military outfit of the Fang Watch, and he has like a in his hands a tray with what I'm going to describe as a thick metal necklace tied with 2 leather ropes beside and handcuffs. You know that these ones were the ones that were used by the Glorium Arcanum to control these walkers that might come out of their mind thrall. And go ahead and roll the dice, Hala. In Japan, during the Edo period, there was something kind of like a spear that has like a circle with metal points to the middle that were used to control people by putting them next to their neck. Nowadays, animal control uses something similar without the metal part that could slash you. That's what this looks like. They are not telling you to wear them. They just have them there in case that you.
I think in the lead up to this, I think Eric would have been not bothered in looking outside. He would have been pretty much calming his mind, stilling his mind the whole way through. And then as we go up to this place and I see that he won't wear it, but he will take it in his hand if they allow him, along with glaive in hand.
Kaoliki is full-on animalistic hissing at this thing. I passed the wisdom save, I think, with an 19. But even the thought that they would bring out something like that disgusts her so fucking much.
Yeah, and all of you, have also rather high passive insight. So you notice the discomfort, visually discomfort, that all of these people have. This is a symbol of oppression. This is what they stand against. So the mere fact that this exists, it was probably pulled out of like a museum or something, because they don't even treat their criminals with chaining them to something. You see Mama Starcarver walks down the stairs, surrounded by the half human, half lion councilmen and the other older council members, as they all look at you, and I don't really the younger lion half red. Very well, I hope that you all are ready to impress the masses and bring them to your side, so to speak, because not to put any pressure on you, but if this fails, we are screwed.
Those who think of failure are prepared to fail. And I just simply walk past him.
I would look at the older council members, look at the chains that Eric had. The fact that you even have them still. And I walk. Like the disgust the holier than thou thing.
Okay. All of you walk out the street. As you are coming out of the enclave, I invite you to sales by. As you see as you see outside the doors of the
Where?
Rick, please. I placed
This one?
as you are coming outside of the enclave, you see there's members of the Fang Watch are against the fence, not taking any action, just standing there like a wall. As soon as you come out, there's a barrage of sounds that immediately flood over you. You hear some people out, crowd yelling, "Murderer!" Some are yelling, "Who's going to give me back my son?" And some other are just like the reporters yelling, Question for Bishar. Was there any new development? And like as you are starting to march out of the enclave, you see a few feet before you are close to the fence, those beast walkers that are in side of the fence form a line for you to walk in between them, and they open the door, and as the door to the fence opens, all of you walk outside the courtyard of the enclave. This is like in Game of Thrones when Cersei was walking through King's Landing. Crowds on the street yelling, separated by perhaps a meter. You are walking, there's guards next to you. You don't know if they are there to protect you or to protect the people against you. They start walking, you're surrounded by everybody inside nursing. They slowly start making a path that leads from the enclave onto a stand that has been built in the middle of one of the streets of the marketplace, surrounded by more members of the Fang Watch, keeping the people from climbing on the stand. All of you walk down the line. As this is happening, I would like Auliki and Bishar to roll me a wisdom save. I requested you guys to do it earlier, but roll it again. And Bishar, you roll it with advantage.
I always do, and I got a 30 total.
Wow.
Is that enough, Martin?
I am actually nauseous.
That was a natural 20, by the way.
Definitely better than last time you've asked me for the number. 18 plus 4, 22. I'm actually nauseous.
as you are walking path, imagine that everything on the outside of those guards that can see Tail Spire is loaded with crowds, hundreds of beast walkers, of diverse races, types are in there. Ishar, Oleki, when you are close to climbing those last steps onto the podium, I keep saying podium. Podium is just like 1, 2, 3. Amphitheater. You feel a tingling sensation, almost as if your own internal monologue is speaking to you. But it's not a thought that you had, it's like a passing thought, almost like an intrusive thought. And Bishar, Oliki, both of you are like looking around, and this is a very stressful moment for you. There's yelling, there's people trying to push, you are walking with almost no space. Kauliki, your angel wings are touching people, it's uncomfortable. There's so much noise, there's so much negative motion. And as you are looking at the people, you cross eyes with somebody as you keep walking. Somebody throws a tomato at Eric's face, and you both look, and there's like this child not older than 15, and in your own voice, in your own monologue, you think, guilty idiot doesn't know what we are doing for him. Why should we allow them to do this to us? We are the good ones. And then you're like, was that me? You keep walking, and like in the middle of the road, a woman breaks the line. She's detained by the guards as they grab her and start pulling her out. And Eric, you can hear her. She's yelling. She has like tears in her eyes. Her eyes are red, dry. She looks at you with a hate, such deep hate, as she's crying and yelling, and she goes, "Who's going to bring me back my husband? Who's going to give me? He was a good man." And she's being pulled and thrown to the ground. And once again, Vikar Kauliki, you have this intrusive thought of, nobody cares about your husband. There's more important things to do. You are standing in our way. You are making us waste time. No, we said it earlier. These people have a right to grieve. Eric chose this. They don't deserve. Ranga, you yourselves said it. You had a whole conversation about it, and that is probably when it lands on both of you. As both of you rolled higher than a 20. You think there's magic manipulating my emotions. Ishar, 20 as a percent. Maybe it's the wind that blows. And Nersandia doesn't have a barrier around it, so the wind blows at all moments. Maybe in this moment there's a change in the direction of the wind. Dust moves up or something that makes you look up. You can see top of that rooftop in front of the stand a silhouette of a meter 82, long white hair, sorry, long black hair, wearing a cloak, very regal, red, blue, yellow, golden, and a battle axe size torso, and a grin across his face. You can see Thoralf, the Emperor, staring down at both of you. As you keep walking and all of you make it to the stand in the middle of the marketplace.
Martin, I am going to puke.
That means I'm doing my job well.
I don't notice them even with
I
my
will-
passive 18. Darn.
I will alert everybody through Mind Link as soon as I notice it. Photo, I know you've just found some references to fighting scions, but you might want to be able to put those to the test momentarily.
As you put
Okay.
your steps into the amphitheater, Eric, you are the one walking at the front. Have your glaive armor, and you have those containment items on your right hand. I would like you to roll me a performance. This is going to determine how you stand in front of the crowd, because many people, you all walking out unchained, makes the council looks weak. They have not disarmed you. Oh, they saw.
So that is a 19. Ephraim would be the flash of genius. Push that 19 up. But I
24.
think his flash of genius is a +5. Yep.
Okay. As what does this look like as Eric is walking out? What's the presence that Eric is putting out?
A beast walker who is walking out to meet whatever punishment comes his way. It is one of solemnness. Almost feels like a death march, but in a way of not sadness or doom or grief, but of bravery in the face, come what may, and has a very clear idea in his mind at the moment.
As you are walking, in front of you, Commander Paddington is walking, and he stands in the stand with all of you. He stands in the stand. There has to be a better way. And you see all of the people are loudly yelling. They are still throwing some stuff at you. The other beast walkers are seemingly blocking them. And as you walk in, Commander Paddington raises a hand, and seemingly everybody seems to lower their volume, and there seems to be a hash tone as I have a question. Did the other four of you walk into the stand with Eric? Do you stay amidst the crowd or behind the other beastwalkers, the guards, Vanguard? Where would you be standing?
I'm with him.
I'm standing with Eric as well. Even though I forgot where I put myself. Oh, there I am. So small.
What about Quattle? Ephraim would be right next to Eric.
I will be illuminating him with my angelic glow, with like, do not fucking touch this man, bitches.
Yeah, and the fact that Kaulik is here with all of her display lowers the DC of those performance. Having the weapon and everybody looking badass raises it, but what about Quattle?
Before Eric walks up there, Quattle will do a quick touch to his armor and cast subtly warding bond, which means Eric is resistant to all damage, and each time he takes damage, I also take that same amount.
Okay.
And that is not concentration.
And you are next to him.
And
Okay.
yep, and nope. And then after that, I will go into the crowd, but remain within 60 feet because I want to be away from the area just in case Jor-El makes a
Perfect.
Where in the
impromptu
general?
visit.
Yeah, I was gonna say, where in the general direction is Mr.
Bitch face, bitch face.
He would be on the rooftop of the building in front of the stand. That is visual.
What? That's the wrong one.
Trixie boy.
Go away.
It was been Vishar all along.
It was Vishar all along.
Kill him.
Okay.
Just out of curiosity. Hi, bitch.
Yeah, so he would move to about there.
Nope, I'm
I
not
reckon.
talking to you.
Just to
Perfect. Can Wattle give me two types of check? One is going to be, I'm going to call it an acrobatics check, to get in between the crowd, because the moment that they see you walking out of the enclave, this crowd is against you. And you run the risk of being lynched. This will also determine how long it takes you to make it to there.
acrobatics.
And secondly, can you give me an undisclosed
D6.
D20?
Okay.
And
Just
I
a
will
regular d20.
regular D20. And I will remind you guys, I have all the fate die.
Oh
Perfect.
fuck.
I'll re-roll that
I
acrobatics
remembered.
with a sorcery point. Okay. So that is an 18 for the acrobatics and a 10 on the d20.
Okay, getting to there, it will take you some time. The speech will begin. I'll let you know when you make it to that position. Nobody seems to immediately take any offensive action at you. And as you start getting farther away from the people closest to where the crowd opens, it seems like that you get slightly lost amidst the crowd and you stop feeling that animosity. But at all moments you feel like eyes on you, like there's a sense of danger. As Eric walks into the stand, Paddington raises his hand and the crowd seems to start quieting. Dear king,
Same.
countrymen, we have gathered today for a very grim occasion. This man standing behind me goes by the name of Eric Starcarver, member of the adventuring group known as the Wanderers. We have heard some rumors about Wanderers in the past week or so. They have been told as heroes of Grelia, been called as the Mad Incinerators. They have been called the group of weirdos that saved a tavern in the middle of the forest. Yet, now they stand in front of us. One of our countrymen is a member of this group. The fact that one ours has made it to a position of such power should fill us with joy. Yet, we don't stand today on a triumphant, or we stand and you see that he is trying to put his hand and reading some notes from his military jacket. We stand in sorrow, as it was due to a threat brought to our lands by these same wanderers that some of our kin met an untimely end just yesterday. We have interrogated them. We have used all of the means at the disposition of the Council, both the Council of Heritage and of Fangs. And we have concluded that their intentions were not against our city. You hear the crowd goes, "They still killed my brother! Those fuckers deserve to die!" And people are starting to go on a negative way, and you see Paddington goes and he's with his hand he starts moving through different cards. Bishar, Publican, Eric, not Ephraim. Read some of the cards say open with the shock, do this, kind of a prepared speech by definitely somebody more eloquent than Commander Paddington. You see he starts getting nervous and he starts stuttering a little bit.
As I can see, he's losing the crowd. I will simply. I won't interrupt him just yet, but I will lay my weapon down in front. I will lay the the relics of the past to the side, and I will just gently place a hand on Puggington and just gently squeeze his shoulder, and I just say, "If you would allow me, General."
I would like Eric and Bishar.
Inside, you say. Alright.
That's not bad today.
I-N-I-S-I-C HT inside.
12!
22.
Very good. Very good.
Bishar.
Passive 19.
Bishar. You get the feeling that this is a very angry moment. You don't come from a place with this amount of population, so it's hard to say. And over the last month or so that you have met each other, Eric has probably shared some information about Nersandia and the way that they live. And for the most part, they don't seem to be aggressive people or bloodthirsty people, but it makes sense for them to be angry. Kauliki, you know violence very much on the first hand. But you don't know crowds, you don't know people. You were just a child, and your past experiences have taken much away of your empathy. So it's hard to place if they are angry because of what happened, or they just want to go to you. Don't really know. But the one that knows is Eric. There have been situations. You remember you were just a child, but I've read history, and it is thought throughout all Nersandia when falling rebellion happened, as many beast walkers were lost on the district propped underneath the clouds. People were angry, people were full of sorrow. Feels deep. A bloodthirsty mob. They seem to be getting worse by the minute, as you see as Paddington starts staggering, some of like the Beast Walkers are like shoving and pushing at the Fang Watch members, and you see the Fang Watch kinda like a riot police is holding them with shields, but you see that in any moment they could be start retaliating against the ever so angry populace. Paddington looks at your hand and goes, but I have like five more of these cards to go before you speak.
The crowd is beginning to get out of hand, and I suspect, and I so subtly point up, and I say, "Don't make it look obvious, but I suspect someone outside is influencing the emotions of the crowd."
So far, you have perceived Paddington useless. He may be useless as
Useless,
a
but
politician.
I respect him. I respect him more so for the power he controls
Yeah,
that
and
his title holds for now.
Yeah, you know Paddington to be a high-ranking commander of the Fang Watch. He has proved himself many times. He led battalions during the rebellions of the falling rebellion. He has proved himself as a military expert. has tactics from the freelance. But as a public figure, is a failure, objectively. At the moment that you say do not make it obvious, if you were not looking at this bag center man, you would not have noticed how quick, systematically, and unconspicuously he surveyed the whole land in a moment. He just, yes, it might be better if you. I gave the defendant and claimant to one of our oldest traditions before the code of law was established. Eric Starcarver would like to have a few words before the ceremony starts. Same thing, Eric. The crowd is about to break. What do you say?
I look out, the crowd roiling with emotion. I say to them, I am truly sorry for what has occurred. I was not so different from you when I set out on an expedition, and when I arrived to that camp and found that the death of my countrymen was caused by a careless outsider, a careless person from the Longstadt Empire, I struck him down in anger. I gave in to my baser instinct because I viewed him as guilty, and I was duly punished for it. I have carried that sin ever since. I look.
I don't want to interrupt you. I love it. But mechanically, I'm going to be splitting your pitch in 3 parts. Opening,
Yep.
center, closing. And you are going to be making persuasion and performance
plaidoyer.
check for all of them. This is going to be the first part. Make a persuasion and a performance check. What is everybody else doing to assist them? And keep in mind, many eyes watching you. So, no rushing.
Fisher will basically be standing behind Eric, just non-verbally showing support for whatever he's saying, but not interrupting or adding anything to it, and just basically letting Eric tell his story.
Does aid in it. Ephraim,
That's a way to put it.
Ephraim will be ready to use Flash of Genius one more. I don't know how that will manifest. What about Kauliki?
I think that when she hears that Eric starts at the murder of Marlish, Marco, whatever his name was, Marion. Huh.
No, not Marion. That was the elf. I think the dwarf was
Thine?
someone else. Fine, Kine, something like
Thine.
that.
Yeah, when he starts at the murder of him, she'll look at Eric and just basically keep on the charade of her being a divine sent someone, and so Halo's going. She's like 2 flaps of wings, and she's flying on his right side as the embodiment of Laika, the angel of fucking justice.
Eric, I'm going to give you disadvantage on the persuasion check because ain't nobody know about that, and that's not relevant to them at this moment. But I'm going to give you advantage on the performance, and I am keeping of the.
Okay, so what am I rolling first?
You choose. I don't care about you.
Okay. So, the disadvantage roll was on persuasion, right?
Yes.
Alright. Let's get some proper dice. Yeah, I thought that might happen. That's fine. Okay. Persuasion +6, so total of 6. Performance, I should have been a bard. 19.
Okay, 19 performance. What did you say? Persuasion? 6?
6. Yeah.
Okay. The crowd seems to, unlike when Paddington was speaking, some of them are yelling while you speak. There's no total silence. There's not murmuring. There's a loud, "You murderer! We don't care about that! Let us stop you! He will pay for his crimes!" All of you, amidst the chaos, can hear a voice. "Yes, he needs to pay." Ishar, throughout all of the turmoil, very much off in the distance, kilometers away, but your senses are so heightened that you can hear a nail hitting the ground. You start hearing a low humming. You recognize the noise, but it's hard to place where it is. It's the sound of an Arcane engine firing up.
Oh,
Continue with your
Here
speech.
comes Gaba.
Does it? Alright, I hear this. Does it come from the direction where I remember our ship being?
Yes.
God damn it.
Continue with the second part of your speech. And I will let you know. No big changes happen. You continue to lose the crowd.
That's fine. Okay, so what's the next bit? Okay. I come before you today to give you recompense for the wrongs that have happened, for the wrongs that have happened in our streets, in your hearts, in your minds. But know this, that whoever is to cast the first strike, let they, clearest of mind, clearest of hate, be the one to strike me first. I will not resist. And this will be in show the spirit of what we are. A race, species of people who may be broken, who may be beaten for every single time. But we will never bow to those who seek to rule over us in tyranny. But that tyranny is for later. Because once this is done, you will need that anger to defend your city later from an outsider threat.
Okay. Okay. Give me persuasion and a anybody doing anything different.
Oh, I'm in this moment. I am looking and snarling at Joralf on top of the chimney.
Question. Whilst the speech for this particular middle section, can I have activated my storm rune?
What does it look like?
So in battle, it would have always looked as though the lightning, the armor does light up with small sparks of lightning. But here I think it's the armor probably darkens a little outside of combat, so it's more like the armor goes darker, almost like dark stormy clouds, and every so often you see like a little arc of lightning beneath the dark clouds. Not in an intimidation way, but more of, I guess, show of will and character, I guess, in this moment.
Okay. Sure. Do that.
Cool.
Point. This makes you grow in size, right?
Nope, this is not Giant Smite. This is just Storm Rune.
Okay.
Martin?
Yep.
I am doing something. I am summoning Karpar. Just not yet doing anything here.
Okay.
He's big.
No, he's not.
He's so big. Oh my god. Oh shit.
Okay.
He's not big.
Give me.
He's a medium creature, but we're medium, not small.
It's much cuter this way, though.
He
Oh, he's a
is
good boy, he's a good
normally.
boy.
I was describing him as a demonic version of Kawaha this time going with the whole holy charade. He is an angelic personification, dogification of Kawaha, and he is just stalking here. His direct command is watch until I say anything else. And you would see a where Riki's magic is always the shadows, the darkness, the gooey ooey icky things. It would be like a shower of light cascading down and into the earth.
Okay.
From the wings into the earth. And
you do
the dog
this
appears on the building.
in which part of this speech? As he says bigger threats, or as he says...
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Give me the persuasion check with disadvantage and the performance check with advantage.
Sorry.
You are...
Sorry, was the
perception with
was the
disadvantage
persuasion at
and the
persuasion
performance with advantage. As to the people, you appear unapologetic. You appear defiant. You appear as you took leadership, and as the Council of Elders is weak against all of you. Yes, you respectively, right, but under the perception of this crowd that seems to be slightly gearing towards violence side, anger, your words getting harder and harder to...
Okay. That's fine. Performance, natural 18 for another 19. The with the storm rune, I've given myself a advantage on the persuasion, so flat roll, natural 17 for 18. All of these check at a +1.
I will reveal now how the mechanics work for these three parts of the speech as we enter the last part. The base DC is 15. If you roll 20 or higher, you gain 2 successes. If you roll a 15, you only gain 1 success. Roll a 10, you lose 1. If you roll a 5, you lose 2. If you roll lower than a 5,
which I did.
3. You started with 5. Last round you went down to 4. Means that this round with 2 18s, it brings you 6 on a scale of 10. The crowd continues yelling. They're still whispering, they're still talking among them. Seem to be taking everything they say at face value. But you looking so determined, so centered, so seemingly transparent. Some of them maybe by fear of the strength of the lion, epitome of the beast walkers. Some maybe for acknowledgement. Some maybe for fear of this threat. This man who is standing next to the military leader all beast walkers is talking about seem to quell their yells. There's still some of them that are angry and yelling. You get the feeling that that number is slowly being reduced. Are Vicky, Eric, Bottle. You hear the sound of that engine flying as you even it's the turmoil of all of this crowd from a faraway distance that you can still barely listen and hear the wind bustling strength of those engines. The Elysian Veil starts to take off. You all know if it is headed where you are, it will arrive in a matter of seconds. It won't be able to go at full speed, otherwise it would destroy the city. But even at a low speed, once it reaches the altitude to fly, it will be there in less than a minute. Eric, continue with the third and last part of your speech, or the people are able to take a minute to retaliate at you.
So just before we continue with the last third, he just, assuming the psychic link is still up, he's going to just think towards Vishar. Please don't tell me that that's what I think it is.
I fear Gaba has had some bad ideas this morning.
Par for the course then.
Only time will tell, I suppose, but yes.
Kali will whisper from behind into your ear. I can make them see the truth.
God, how would that fucking go?
It's
How would that
1-on-1
fucking go?
per spell.
Yeah. Yeah. Trying to think, how would that go? Okay. Okay.
It's what we're casting?
Yeah, each time that you cast a spell, only a certain number of people are able to see, and you have thousands here.
Yeah. It's not like a major projection, that's the problem.
Now,
we need
not to
something
put
bigger if
pressure
we wanted to do that.
on you, Jason, as the one that is doing this pitch.
No,
But I'll let you know,
no, I've got it.
unless you get
Yeah.
2 wrong successes, you won't be able to have Ner Sandia showing your side. You will be able to.
How many successes?
You are at 6. Them to join your side as allies, you need to be on 8 or higher. That means that you need at least 2
Two
rolls
more.
above 15.
Okay.
Ephraim has 1 flash of genius left. Choose your last words
Okay.
carefully.
Okay. Sorry. Okay.
All the pressure.
So I got this. I DM all the time now. Anyway, so he can still see there are people murmuring, there are people not really listening, right? I'm gonna use my daunting roar to try and cut through through the murmuring and say, "Did your elders not teach you to listen when people are speaking? To mind our manners? That separates us from
Prestidigitation, I am amplifying this shit.
from those who are merely animals and those who are beast folk. You will have what you believe is your recompense. I will not deny you of this. But after your recompense, think carefully if that brings you closure. We must move forward. My wrath has never brought me any closure. Not for the perceived slights that I have seen against my people. And for today, I have seen the outside, and it is grim. So once you have your fill, reflect deeply, and then unite against the outside threat that is coming. If I die today, let that be my last words to all of you and the nation. The free nation of Nasanzia to unite against the outside threat. With that, he will kneel in front of his... He will take up his weapon, his glaive. He'll pick up the relic, the cuffs, and he will throw it in the air and strike it to break it. And once it breaks, he will basically throw the glaive, hopefully in a cool way of landing blade first in the ground and await whoever picks it up first, and will cast. As he does that, as he strikes it, he will do something in a second once the first person decides to come in.
Kauliki boosted you. Ishar. Ping.
Not yet.
I will give you a choice. With that roar, tone of that. Either roll vision, right? Or you can go for intimidation with advantage. At the DC for intimidation is not 15, it's 17.
Intimidation, right? Okay. So same thing, still 2 rolls involved. Okay. Let's do the intimidation first.
Okay. Roll with advantage.
Better at that. Okay. +5. Do we get? Oh yeah, baby. That is a 18 +5, 23.
And the performance also with advantage, thanks to the help of Kauliki,
Right.
and you throwing and destroying.
I will give you a d6 to add as well with Cosmic Omen.
Go.
And you know what? Ephraim will use his last flash of shield.
Alright. That's gonna be stonky then. So that's
What will
17 plus 3 plus 5, 25,
plus this?
plus. Oh, that was the d6. I rolled a 3 on that.
Plus 5.
Plus 4 was plus 1, so a total of 26.
And above the DC.
Quattro.
11.
You
A soft critical, some might say.
around this moment you make it to the position where you place your mini. As Eric finishes saying this, the crowd enters the site. The silence is almost daunting, as it feels almost as if the whole crowd has been left speechless by maybe this show of bravado or this confidence on a threat. Wattle, you don't know much about Nersandia, Rue capital. The rumors, stories that tell the capital is that the Beast Walkers are uncivilized people, a mixed match of all culture, not really having their own, not really having a history as they are new, completely self-centered, absorbed on what benefits their own kind. A society held together only by loose threads. As this last part of the speech ends, yes, there are still some people that are looking angrily or sad, frustrated that this man is making so much sense. The moment they believe him about this outside threat, if there is something all Beast Walkers come together for, fighting to defend other Beast Walkers against outside threat. Most of the crowd look with a look of resolution. Nobody wants war. Nobody wants to go to battle, have more of their loved ones lost or what? A battle for territory, a battle for politics. But the fact that this is a battle for liberty, a battle for their identity, all of the Beast Walkers heal their minds. Except for a few exceptions, all of them start with their feet, bloom, 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 in unison, almost like sounds of marching. And many Beast Walkers start roaring, talking, meowing, barking, all of the animalistic calls of their beastly counterpart. But I'll remember that I asked you in the beginning to roll me an undisclosed d20. As you were walking past the crowd, I asked you to roll me a raw intelligence, which you rolled an 11, which means that it took you a while to notice. You were not quick. The perceptions, looking around. But as you were walking past the people, first very much against you, not letting you move, and then as you start getting further down, they have to like make way to let you go. from time to time you felt like your hand touched somebody's shoulder to try to make way, walk past them, and almost as if your hand went through the shell of
The
this
Fucking
walker,
army
or
is here.
through the fur of somebody, or through the
Motherfucker.
as you get the feeling that there are some people that are using sort of
Come on,
an illusion
Ariel the spell. Come on.
to blend as peace walkers. By the moment that you come to that last position and you start connecting the dots, you look at Shoralf after this part of Eric's speech, and all of the beast walkers tapping their feet almost as marching, and you hear claps going at the same rhythm as the footstep. As you see Shoralf is grinning, and the Elysian Veil appears flying above the crowd. All of the beast walkers cheer and roar and go out loud looking at the Elysian Veil. Baginthon looks at Eric, kind of nodding. And now we will begin the 1 minute of trial by combat in which Mr. Eric Starcarver has chosen to lay down his weapon. Any who wish to come forth, do so. Gaba, to arrive at this moment, you are on the deck of the Elysian Veil, and you can hear tuk, tuk, tuk roars. The crowd seems to be in a fervor. The glaive Eric stabbed next to you, and he is laying on his.
Do I see
Is it-
Joralf on the radar or by sight?
Give me a perception.
Good at those.
Where is the Elysian Veil?
Above all of you, about 100 feet in.
Right, so I roll a 13 plus 5 for an 18. Would I get an advantage because I have the radar on the Elysian Veil?
I'm going to say you are not in the control cabin, you are on the deck as you wanted to descend quickly.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if this would work. I want to do it Captain Jack style, kind of hang by rope off the side.
Okay. As you are descending, getting closer to the stand where Eric and the rest of the Wanderers are standing, you do spot a figure in one of the rooftops that is turning around, and you see smoke starts appearing from behind him, and suddenly you no longer see his feet. You only see one shoulder, almost as if he's walking into nothingness, and he turns around and you see the grin of Shoralf, and all of you, in your mind, the 6 of you, hear, "Good job. This won't be boring. Leaves." As Shoralf walks away, years from. That is where we are going to finish for tonight.
Wanted to shoot at him.
As Gaba arrives, and a line of about 6 people forms to walk the stand.
I would immediately fly up to meet Gaba. It's like the reverse of a superhero landing. It would be a superhero starting like poof, immediately 60 feet up with the action and dash, with movement and dash.
I will save my speech for next time then.
As that is going to be the end for today. Join us in 2 weeks. We see this crowd turns
Che
battlefield,
Guerrera.
or it only turns into a bloody Derrick. In the meantime,
Hey, hey, either way, we'll die on Mars.
in the meantime,
No.
Living